Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has emphatically accused Ukraine of systematically dismantling every potential pathway to peace talks, asserting that Kyiv deliberately torpedoed its own peace proposals from April 2022 under significant pressure from London. This accusation forms a central pillar of Russia's narrative, aiming to deflect blame for the ongoing conflict and to portray Ukraine and its Western allies as obstructionists to peace. Lavrov's remarks highlight the deep chasm in interpretations of the conflict's history and the challenge in initiating any meaningful dialogue. By specifically naming London as the source of pressure, Russia seeks to underscore the alleged influence of external powers on Ukraine's sovereign decision, thereby undermining Kyiv's agency in the peace process and fueling anti-Western sentiment. This perspective frames Ukraine not as an independent actor, but as a proxy for Western geopolitical interests, further complicating efforts toward diplomatic resolutions. Speaking further on Ukraine's evolving stance on negotiations, Lavrov cited a series of apparent contradictions in President Volodymyr Zelensky's statement and actions. He recalled an earlier declaration by Zelensky that Ukraine could fight Russia for 10 years, which Lavrov contrasted with later refusals by Ukraine to engage in ceasefire, even when backed by Western guarantees. Subsequently, Lavrov noted Zelensky's appeared to reverse course by actively demanding ceasefire. The Russian foreign minister also pointed to Ukraine's 2022 decisions to formally ban talks with President Vladimir Putin, only for Kyiv to later accuse Moscow of deliberately avoiding dialogue. These examples were presented by Lavrov as evidence of Ukraine's inconsistent and ultimately unconstructive approach to peace. To bolster his claim, Lavrov cited a statement from Zelensky's aide, Mykhailo Podolyak, who reportedly vowed that Ukraine would pursue Russians legally or physically, which Lavrov presented as definitive proof that Kyiv's leadership had rendered diplomacy impossible through their confrontational rhetoric and actions. Meanwhile, unrelated but concurrent security concerns have emerged in Denmark, where police have confirmed multiple sightings of mystery drones hovering over Karup, the country's largest military base. Danish officials fear these incidents may represent a component of a hybrid attack, indicating a potential blend of conventional and unconventional tactics to destabilize or gather intelligence. This development follows a series of similar drone sightings that have recently compelled airport closures in various locations, raising alarm across European security establishments about potential reconnaissance or disruptive activities. In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky has publicly accused Hungary of deploying reconnaissance drones into Ukrainian airspace, a charge that Budapest has vehemently denied, dismissing it with scorn. This exchange highlights the heightened suspicion and mistrust prevalent in the region, where even routine activities can be interpreted as hostile acts. The proliferation of unexplained drone activity adds another layer of complexity to the already tense security landscape in Europe, prompting investigations and bolstering vigilance at critical infrastructure sites. Amid these escalating regional tensions, President Zelensky has intensified his appeals to Washington for the provision of long-range Tomahawk missiles. His request strongly hints at the potential for these advanced weapons to be used for strikes deeper within Russian territory. A significant escalation in the ongoing conflict, this strategic move by Ukraine underscores its intent to broaden the scope of its defensive capabilities and potentially target Russian logistical or military assets further from the front line. Such a deployment would represent a substantial increase in the type of weaponry supplied to Ukraine and would undoubtedly draw a strong reaction from Moscow, raising fears of further retaliation and a dangerous expansion of the conflict. In a separate yet related development, President Zelensky announced that Ukraine had received a Patriot air defense system from Israel and that it was already operational, actively defending against Russian strikes. This acquisition represents a crucial enhancement to Ukraine's air defense capability, providing a much-needed layer of protection against aerial assault and demonstrating Israel's willingness to provide advanced military aid despite its complex diplomatic position. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question. Considering Lavrov's accusation that Ukraine has destroyed every opportunity for peace talks under Western pressure, combined with Zelensky's request for long-range Tomahawk missiles, what is the most likely path forward for the Ukraine conflicts? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinions on where this is all heading in our community. Share your analysis and opinion in the comments below. Like the video and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.